Hey guys, Saf coming at you with another Raid Shadow Legends video. So I will probably cover these patch highlights and the patch notes in greater detail when I do my full patch notes breakdown in a couple of days. But I wanted to kind of make a video specifically on the new Forge Pass information. I've covered Forge Pass in Season 1 and Season 2 and kind of analysed whether or not it's worth it, what my thoughts were about it, and whether or not I thought it was a good idea. Obviously, we know it's not the same thing as Battle Pass 1 that we had 2 years ago, but we got to look at it in isolation as it is what it is. So in the highlights, they made an announcement. A new Forge Pass will go live and bring a new artifact set to the game. Your protection-focused champions are going to love this one because it combines the benefits of the beloved old shield set and regeneration, meaning it will not cease being useful even after the initial shield buff is no longer active. And the set is called Bolster. It is a 4 set piece, which makes sense, and it provides a protected 30% HP ally shield for 3 turns, and the wearer heals by 10% every turn. Okay, so this for me is what makes Forge Pass infinitely more valuable. I would even go as far as to say that if you are a competitive player, you push platinum, you play a lot of arena, this Forge Pass Season 3 might be a mandatory purchase for you. The problem with shield has always been, once you lose that shield, it becomes almost like a useless set, so you're almost wanting to look for another set so it has a bit more long-term value. Especially on arena defenses where you can't control the opponent you're facing. The moment a Madame Cerise, a Romantu, or something of that nature comes along and just removes that shield buff, the shield set is basically worthless. However, with Bolster, you're going to get a protected shield, which means it cannot be buff stripped. The only way you can get rid of it is to effectively deplete the shield. Now, when they changed Shield Bearer Mastery, which did 25% more damage against shielded opponents, it used to be that it just did a flat 25% more damage whether they were shielded. Now it only does 25% more damage to the shield effect itself. A lot of players removed that mastery because, you know, the power of Madame Cerise, Romantu came in, Kaimars, all these champions that could basically remove the shield buff. You didn't need that mastery and it was a wasted mastery. Well, this now changes that potentially, because I think if you pair this with a high HP champion in a go second team, you're creating substantially a large amount of effective HP for your team. For example, my Asuga Warcaller, high HP based champion, has that passive effect where she can absorb some damage from critical hits. It's really powerful in a go second comp. Well, she can easily scale her HP to about 100,000. This would give everyone a 30,000 protected shield. That's a substantial amount of effective HP that enemy champions now need to burn through because they cannot remove that buff. Pair that with someone like a Brogni, you can replenish that shield. And keep in mind, I've checked the code. I'm fairly confident here that a bolster set works exactly the same way as a shield set. Skill shields and artifact shields are 2 distinct different items of effects, so you can have them on at the same time. You could run a bolster and a Krisk shield together. That is a substantial amount of effective HP. In addition, the other problem with shield, once that shield was gone, it was useless. Well, now, even after the 3 turns, you're going to get some self-healing on your high HP champion. It'll keep them alive, they're less of a burden. This set is huge, it is massive. It's going to be quite a big game changer potentially in Arena. I don't know whether it's going to redefine the Arena meta, I don't think it's that big, but certainly some of the champions that are HP based, that are pretty high in HP, that kind of provide you that kind of tanky go second scenario, they might rise in value because of this set, and you could probably put some interesting team compositions together due to this set as a result. Now, the one thing they haven't mentioned here is any reference to the rest of the Forge Pass like system and rewards. If you haven't seen the Forge Pass Season 1 or Season 2, or you just didn't care, the way it was working, you had 50 levels, you had free daily quests. Those daily quests gave you 5 experience. Each level was 10 experience, so you effectively climbed 2 levels a day. If you only did the free pass, you basically had to do those daily quests every day, and you completed the free pass track. That had some rewards. All the good rewards were on the premium track, and the premium pass also gave you weekly rewards that gave you 12 XP. So you could effectively get to level 50 by around about 2.5 weeks to 3 weeks. You also got some XP boost and some silver boost, and then a bunch of other things. So I've covered Forge Season Pass 1 and Season Pass 2 on this channel before. I did a breakdown on whether or not I thought it was worth it. This is the table I put together the last season, in Season 2, and we can see they didn't change the reward track at all. They basically reran the same thing with the same set, and I got a feeling, looking at it from just the in-game sort of tags that players got in their profile, which showed what Forge Pass level they had. I think substantially less players bought Forge Pass Season 2 than Season 1, which is why we're seeing the changes now. So I don't know whether or not the other stuff here is going to be changed. You did get some reasonably good stuff here. You got some 5-star speed glyphs. You've got some other speed glyphs. You got some Chaos Ore. Now, I value Chaos Ore a lot higher than a lot of other players, but that's to take into consideration. That was 3 Chaos Ore, and the price point was reasonably, I would say reasonably low for other packs if you're a spender in this game at $20. However, it still was quite an expense for sort of late to end game players because of how bad the Instinct set was. I'm going to cover the reason why that set really wasn't good in the next section here, but what I just wanted to point out here was you did get a lot of stuff if you were a mid or an early game player. It was a really good purchase because the biggest problem that players have in that stage is getting access to good, high quality, high star, high rarity equipment that you can control the substats on. With the Forge, the reason why Perception is so good isn't necessarily because the set bonuses you gain are like out of this world. Accuracy and speed is decent, but it's not the end. You know, we're not talking substantial amount of some stats here. It's the fact that you can get lots of the material from Faction Wars. You can make lots of it in the Forge Pass, and you can control the rarity and the rank and some of the substats using those charms. So you can basically get really high quality perception gear at a fraction of the effort and energy cost that you would normally get to get, say, a savage piece or an immunity piece. I think when it comes to forging equipment, it's a really good idea. So if you're in the mid game and you just wanted some good pieces, this pass is great considering how much you got. You got like a full 6-star legendary set. I think you could make about 100 of the 5 to 6-star instinct pieces. So that's if you think of the averages, it's going to be at least 20 to 30 6-star, if not more pieces. Even if it's rare and it double rolls, that could really be account changing for some players. You got a lot of Magisteel in here as well, which was nice. So I think as an overall reward, it was average to bad for late to end game players, pretty good for mid game players, but nothing, because the set was not very good, it didn't scream you must buy this. Well, with Forge Pass Season 3, I think this is going to change. It'll be interesting to see if they change the rewards, and if they do, I will of course update with a new video going through the new reward track, or if they change the missions. My gut tells me they probably won't. They'll probably just change the set. But even if all they do is change the set, I still think Forge Pass Season 3, if you're serious about competing in sort of arena or some areas in the end game, I think it's really good. Even if you're not, having a 3-turn protected shield that can't be removed every round, so that's every floor, is quite big. If you imagine going into Scarab and you have 3 turns to set up your team to make sure it works okay, it's quite crazy. I think it's a really, really good set. So finally, what I wanted to just quickly cover was why Instinct wasn't an attractive set for a lot of players. So you have a 4-piece set here. It gives you 12% speed, and it gives you ignores 15% of the enemy's defense. So it's kind of like a budget savage with speed, for a better word. Now, the problem here is generally when you're building champions in the late to end game specifically, you're either doing one or the other. You don't generally have a fast damage dealer, and you don't generally have a speed champion that's got damage on it at all. So you're in this situation where you're sacrificing 12% speed because you could run 2 speed sets instead of 1 instinct set, because it's a 4-piece here instead of a 2-piece. And then if you want to do damage, you're sacrificing 10% ignored defense, which actually is a lot of damage in arena if you're fighting some of the tankier teams, in exchange for 12% speed, which you didn't really need. So for a lot of people, you end up in this situation where it's not like it's terrible, but you just can't find a reason to use the set. As an example, I've done both Forge Passes because the Forge Pass Season 2 was on during Kyoku and I thought I needed the XP boost. Turns out I didn't, but hey, hindsight. And I've actually got some decent pieces I've rolled. I've got some triple speed rolls. So you would think that would find its way into the build. I've run the optimizer on multiple different ways, damage dealers, speed boosters, and it has yet to actually provide me a reason to build a 4 set of instinct. It might use the odd piece here or there, but it is not building an instinct set because it's not good for damage and it's not good for speed. It's two in the middle. For an early to mid game, it's different because often you're not in that perfectionist mode. You're not in that position where you've got a lot of options to choose from. You're building what you've got into the best way you can. But for the end game players, it just put off having the pass at all. You are basically buying Chaos Warforged, and most players probably are getting a lot of that now. They don't need it as much. My suggestion for this set when they released it was, don't do a 4-piece set here. Make it a 2-piece set. Still keep the 12% speed, but change it to a 5% ignore enemy defense. This then means that it fills a gap for HP-based and defense-based champions who want the ignore defense but don't necessarily have a use for the attack percentage from Cruel. So if you wanted to run a Savage Cruel on a defense base, you're just sacrificing 15% attack for that 5% ignore defense, but that 5% ignore defense is probably worth it. Well, if you give 12% speed, then you're adding value, and this set becomes insanely more valuable and more desirable for a lot more players. I don't think we have to have it as a 4-piece in its current form, and in its current form I just think you sacrifice too much to make it work. The difference obviously with Bolster is you're directly improving one set and you're taking powerful features from a couple of sets, because Guardian also does 10% healing, regeneration, and you're putting it together in a 4-piece set. You can still run Immortal Bolster and get yourself 13% healing every turn. It's really, really good. So therefore, there's no negatives to taking this set. You would always want it over the shield set, and it's worth getting. So I think the fact that this set is more attractive is going to make the Forge Pass more valuable, even if they change nothing else. So there you go, guys. That's the end of the video. I just wanted to give a bit of a shout out for that, because I really think this change is quite significant for the valuation of the Forge Pass. And I think if you're a competitive player or even sort of a late to end game player, I think it's worth buying that pass. If you spend a bit of money, it's $20. It's not a huge amount of pack. It does last the entire month, and you will probably get some of the benefits back with the silver boost and the XP boost as well. If you like these videos, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. That means any future videos will go straight into your feed. If they do change the Forge Pass in any way, I of course will give you an update, and keep an eye out for my patch 5.8 breakdown in the next couple of days. So with that said, I will catch you in the next video.